Shabbat Shalom. Good evening, everyone. Oh, it's so nice to hear those little voices. I'm Leslie Zucker. I am the music director and worship leader here at Congregation Beth Torah. I'm joined by our musicians, our technical team, and our Weiner Religious School Sunday School learners and their families who will be helping lead us through song and prayer tonight. We're so excited to have Michelle with us, proof that not all of our piano players are named Susie.
I had it changed last week. So.
Thank you to the BOW committee for bringing us beyond our walls. If you would like to be a digital docent or learn our streaming, please reach out to the office and Alex will put you in touch with the correct person. If you are watching from home and you need immediately technological assistance, contact our technical assistance line, TALL, at 913-303-1134. That's 913-303-1134. Text the number and a docent will get back to you as soon as possible. For those of you praying in person, we are going to have the page numbers on the screen, and also we are calling the numbers in the brackets down at the bottom of the page. We have been reminding ourselves on the regular lately that we are the community that we need. And in service to that, I invite you to take a moment and turn to someone near you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and if you don't know them, introduce yourselves. Okay. For those of you also here in person, I invite you to turn off your noise-making devices. And if you think that you put your phone on silent, I invite you to check again, just in case. I did another service earlier, and God did call. God did call. So just, take a look. I understand you can't necessarily quiet your noisy spouses, but maybe your phones. It is my pleasure at this time to invite our learners up to the bima to lead us in our second opening song. You are, of course, invited to sing along with us. If I can get all of my learners up. Yeah, it's a family affair. These are our Sunday school learners and one of our teachers. All right, let's spread out this way a little bit, in between the microphones. In between the microphones. Perfect. And stay here. We have a prayer that we do every Sunday morning at religious school, and my learners wanted to share it with you. So give us just a moment to get our prayers back together. There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right. Can you guys step a little further up to the front? There you go.
Good job.
All right. We're going to do a 1, 2, 3 so we can all start together, okay? 1, 2, 3. This place is holy.
We make this place holy with our songs. We make this place holy with our prayers. We make this place holy with our kindness. This place is holy. We make this place holy with our smiles. We make this place holy with our words. We make this place holy by simply being here and sharing. How beautiful is this holy place. How amazing is this community.
Thank you. Now we come over here for lighting the candles. And families, if you would like to come up, you are invited. The rest of us will read this prayer, thank you, on page 121 as the families walk up together. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, thank you, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. The lighting blessing is on page 120. Oh, nicely done. Thank you so much. Now you may all go sit with your families, and I'll call you back up when it's time for your next. I invite everyone to turn to page 127. Our next prayer together is on page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 138. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi. Kaddish on page 144. Yitkada, yitkada, shemei rabba, be'alma divrachute be'amlich malchute, b'chaye kolu v'yomecho, b'chaye kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman karim, ve'imeru amen. Yehesh merabba mevorach, le'alam lam me'almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalah, shemei kedusha b'richu, leila, min kol birchatav v'shiratav, tush b'chatav v'nechemata, tamiran be'ama, v'imeru amen. Now my learners know what comes next. Now is the time in the service when we ask, are you ready to pray? Woo! Yes, maybe some of you don't know, as my younger learners do, that all that praying we just did, that was a warm-up. Those were warm-ups to get our minds and our bodies and our spirits ready. We were stretching out our praying muscles so that we could start praying. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And I invite my learners to come back up. They're going to help lead us in our Shema. All right, they wanted me, when we were talking about the Shema and what they wanted to teach you all tonight, they wanted to teach you how we do the Shema on Sunday morning, which is through breath. You know, you come in on so early and it's the end of the week or the beginning of the week and you bring in all your stuff with you. So we take a moment and we take a breath. So I invite you to take a breath that is big for you and then let it out. We're going to do another one. And then one more.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto
You may be seated and you may return to your seats. Thank you for leading us in that prayer. We continue with the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavcha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavacha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha bebetecha uv'lektecha b'derech uv'shochecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leolechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. We continue together on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Mekone Hakol, V'Zocher Chastevot v'Imahot, Umevi Gila Livnei Vnehem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morit HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somet Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh Emunato Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bagevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memitu Mechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim v'chol yom halalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their favor in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato letzion. Page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hato shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. invite you to conclude the Amidah silently using the prayers that are in the book or the prayers of your heart. And when you have finished those prayers, to return to your seats. Our thoughts turn to those in need of healing and return. We start with a Mishaberach for those in captivity or whose whereabouts are unknown. Now, I was going to save this for the Simcha moment, but some of you may have noticed that Dave ran up to say something to me, and I just assumed I'd done something wrong, or a microphone wasn't on, or a battery was dead. But he ran up to tell me that the agreement has been signed by both parties, which means that some of our hostages will be released, and we will be releasing Palestinian hostages, and Gazans will at least have a chance to begin rebuilding their lives. And that is a true miracle and cause for joy. And at the same time, there are still many on both sides whose whereabouts are unknown. And there are those that we know who are still in captivity. And so we continue to pray for all our family of the house of Israel, Kol Yisrael, fellow Jews who face anguish and captivity, whether on sea or on land, and for all those who face anguish and captivity, Kol Yoshvei Tevel. May the divine have compassion upon them and bring them from distress to relief, from darkness to light, from subjugation to redemption, now, speedily, and soon. Let the verse from Isaiah be fulfilled, and God's ransomed shall return and come with singing to Zion, crowned with joy everlasting. They shall attain joy and gladness while sorrow and sighing flee, and let us say, Amen. Amen. And remembering those in Los Angeles and all of those who have family and friends, and all who suffer through the wars and natural disasters that continue to rage around the world, find refuah shlema, healing of body, of mind, and of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Amen. Our attention now turns closer to home, to those of us who are in need of healing of mind, body, spirit, maybe feelings. If you are with us online, you may access the Mishaberach by following the link in the comments. If you'd like to offer names, please type them in the comments so that we may see them. For those of you here in person, I invite you to close your eyes. Think of those in your lives who are in need of healing. And if you wish, you may say those names aloud so that all of these names, those in our hearts and on our lips, may be gathered up together as we raise them in song. Blessed our ancestors, bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, companionship, and peace. As it is with life, so it is with us, moving from sorrow to joy. It's time for our simcha moment. If you have a simcha you would like to share at this time, I invite you to come up to the lovely microphone. I have been reminded to let you know that Dr. Jim is not sick. He is doing his side hustle as a pulmonary surgeon. For those of you who don't know what his side hustle is, I mean, we all know this is his real job.
Hello, I'm Carol, and I am now 1 year older than I was last week. I am 82.
Hi, hello. I'm Evan, and this week I had to get an IV. I had to get an infusion to treat my von Willebrands, and we were all expecting horrible side effects, but I only got as red as a tomato. And another simcha that I have is that I'm here, but I really do miss my mother. I do miss my mother.
I'm Florence, and I finally started the second semester of school, and I got performance and art class.
I'm Estelle, and today I dropped off roughly 6 bags of stuff that I have been accumulating that I donated to the Federation. They're going to have a big art thing in about a month. There's an artist that's coming, and he does art with little doodads and stuff that I collect, so yay. So I'm excited about that I got things out of my basement.
I'm Audrey, and I'm really just happy that After about 6 weeks, I feel good enough to come tonight.
This is Elijah, and his papa's birthday is 80th birthday this week. And he's too shy to come up, and so Elijah was going to say it, but he's too shy to say it too, so.
So there was a man who was in a little fender bender with a younger man, and nobody was hurt. Nothing went terribly wrong. They exchanged information. It was like, yeah, I'm fine. Are you fine? I'm fine. And they all went their separate ways. And then the insurance companies got involved. And the young man's mother got involved. And suddenly the older man was called to court. The young man was a burgeoning young dentist, and the mother did not think that he needed to have this on his record. So they called him in, and he was a little bit confused, and they accused him of speeding. They said, it's very obvious that you were speeding, and that's why this happened. And he was a little bit confused, again, because, he had been there at the time. And the judge said, so if you were not the lawyer, it says barrister. It's not an English story. The barrister said, if you were not speeding, how do you account for the fact that my client's vehicle was spun 360 degrees and knocked onto the central reservation of the road? I have the sketches from the police and the measurements from the scene. 360 degrees. That was a considerable impact. How could this possibly have happened if you were not driving over the speed limit? Well, the gentleman said, that's easy. I was driving a 2.5-ton pickup truck at 30 miles an hour, which is around 13.5 meters per second, and your client was in a small car of around a third of the weight. Conservation of momentum means that a large part of the momentum of my vehicle would have imparted of that to your client at the moment of impact in the form of kinetic energy, which would, considering the masses involved and the point of impact at the rear quarter, be more than sufficient to spin the vehicle and completely around and move it a good distance before coming to rest. I could do the mass velocity and vector calculations for you with a little more information. The two lawyers stared at him for a moment, and the judge said, how do you know this? I'm qualified as an engineer, sir. I wasn't always a civil servant, and I used to make such calculations at this all the time, though I have a different occupation now. You see, we talk about justice. This is Justice Shabbat, Tzedek Shabbat. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And justice is a central moral concept that involves treating people fairly and impartially. But to do that, you have to not assume that you know everything about a person. And I think that all of you have proven again and again, and I think pretty much Beth Torah is a great place for this, that you see people for how they are and give them a chance to be who they are before you assume. And we hear that every week in your stories. And I feel so lucky that you come up and continue to share your lives with us and example how to be a good person in this world. As we honor each of you for the gifts that you bring our sacred community, we join together in song as we mark this sacred occasion. You may return to your seats. As I just mentioned, it is Tzedek Shabbat, Justice Shabbat. It is observed each year on the Shabbat that flows into Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now, as Jews, it may seem strange to have a singular Shabbat called out as Justice Shabbat. Our liturgy is filled with calls for prayer and prayers for justice. Leviticus tells us, "You shall do no injustice in your judgment. You shall not lift up the person of the poor, nor shall you give extra importance to the person who is mighty." In Pirkei Avot, Rabbi Tarfon reminds us that the day is short and the work is plentiful, and that while it is not our duty to finish the work, neither are we at liberty to neglect it. And of course, Deuteronomy rings ever in our ears, "Tzedek, tzedek tirdof," justice, justice shall you pursue. For us, every Shabbat is Justice Shabbat. This year, we decided to sing our message rather than speak it, so I'm just going to remind you a couple of things before we sing our first song. First, while tzedek is most often translated as justice, it is derived from the word zakah, which means clear or pure. So tzedek means both justice and righteousness. And the second thing is this: Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. believed that justice and peace were inextricably linked. There can be no peace without justice, he said, and there can be no justice without peace. As we move through our songs, I invite you to sing along with anything that you know. The text from our first song, Lo Yisagoi, is found in Isaiah 2, chapter 2, verse 4, and Micah chapter 4, verse 3. "And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not take up sword against nation, and they shall never again know war." Now, for me, Israeli poet Yehuda Amichai improved these verses to near perfection when he wrote in response, "Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first." recently read something on Instagram that I found very interesting and rather funny. I don't know if you know this, but if you say Bob Dylan 3 times into a mirror, a Jewish mother will instantly appear to remind you that he was born Robert Allen Zimmerman. Bob Dylan was one of the performers whose music provided a voice for the civil rights movement. He and Joan Baez, as a matter of fact, performed at the 1963 March on Washington shortly before Dr. King gave his famous speech. I was up close when King was giving the I Have a Dream speech, Dylan tells us. To this day, it still affects me in a profound way. That fall, Dylan wrote our next song. I'd like to say that it is no longer relevant, and we're just singing it because it's catchy and nice, which it is. But unfortunately, the song feels as urgent now as I'm sure it did then. I invite you to sing with us this anthem. Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accepted that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like the stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. And I didn't give you those words, I'm sorry. Who has stalled? There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-change. Mothers and fathers, come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old world is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, and the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, please God, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing, for the times they are a-changing, for the times they are a-changing. Now, because I'm the one who put this program together, I cannot end there. I cannot end on that note. While there is an upbeat nature to the music and the song is a call to action, it also towards leaving us filled with anger and outrage. And we want to leave you tonight with a different message. Be kind. If we build this world with love and from love, there will be no room for all of that other nonsense. But we all have to do it together. So please sing with us about building this world from love, from the Psalms. Thank you for going on that journey with us. May this world be filled with love and kindness and peace and justice. And speaking of, the rabbis of the 12th century, as my good friend Jim Kaplan reminds us, added the Aleinu to our prayers to remind us that no matter how things are, there is always hope for a better future. We begin the Aleinu on 586 and then move to 591. I invite you to stand if you are able. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, l'atid gedula le'osei breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei aratzot, ve'lo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu b'hem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim u'bishachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei halavim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You may be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. We remember those, Israeli and non-Israeli, who have lost their lives in the battles between Israel and her neighbors. And we remember those who have lost their lives in the fires that have been raging on the West Coast. As a congregation, we have heard of the passing of beloved friend of Neil Breslow and Louise Hipsch and Beth Breslow there in the Shiva period for Frank Leffler. And those whose family are in the Shloshim period, Karen Sue Mendelson, sister and sister-in-law of Scott and Rachel Temple. And on the occasion of their yard sites, we remember as a congregation Jose Adler, Nathan Applebaum, George Bellotti, Riva Bogomolnaya, Jean Flam, Nathan Hayes, Bernard Kaufman, Noam Kalemsky, Sally Nassau Learman, Myron Levine, Robert Miko, Betty Jean Moses, Barbara Meyer, Joseph Rittmaster, Alvin Ernest Robino, Rowena Robino, Isaac Rudnick, Abe Steinberg, Marshall Weingarten, Jay Willer. If there's a name that you would like to add that you're saying Kaddish for, or if I mispronounce a name and you would like to correct that, I invite you to do so at this time. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. I invite you to stand as a congregation to comfort the mourners. If it is your tradition to remain seated, I invite you to do that as well. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vimechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. For our closing song, we do have a few announcements. I would like to thank our Shalom Squad who greeted you at the door of the building and at the door of the sanctuary. I would like to really thank all my musicians, Michelle and Larry and Warren and Jim. What a treat to be able to make music with musicians of this caliber. And I would like to thank our religious school families for being here, not usually out this late at night sometimes with the little ones, but thank you for making that happen. And they'll be right back up in a moment to lead us in our closing song. Our Shabbat celebrations continue tomorrow with Sichat Shabbat at 9 a.m., followed by Shabbat morning worship at 10:30, right back here in the sanctuary. Our Sichat topic this week is Sex in the Text with Elaine Tobias. I'm just going to let you figure that out on your own. There is no religious school on Sunday due to Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. Our rabbi candidate visit is next weekend. Yay! Sunday. Mark your calendars to spend that day at Beth Torah on Sunday, January 26th. If you plan to come for breakfast, please RSVP by January the 23rd to make sure we have enough food. You know how I feel about that. And speaking of food, our soup tower is starting to look really, really good. I encourage you to continue bringing your soup donations anytime we're open between now and February 9th. If you don't want to lug the soup yourself, order from Amazon and have it delivered. We will accept it at the door. In honor of Tzedek Shabbat, Justice Shabbat, we wanted to make sure that you are aware of the Good Faith Network and Beth Torah's involvement with this interfaith justice organization. You'll find flyers on the Oneg tables and the flyer table that give you the Good Faith Network schedule for the year, as you see up here, and QR codes to learn more. The Good Faith Network works for systemic change across Johnson County and is one of our biggest opportunities for Tikkun Olam. It's also a very quiet thing. I think that every year there are people who are surprised to find out we're involved because it's not a loud thing that we do, but they have done some very serious change in Johnson County on a very systemic level. You can learn more on the website or call Jennifer. She would love to tell you about it. There we go. There is so much more going on. Please take your announcement sheets home and check out all the usual places. We encourage you to participate in your Beth Torah community activities. Now it is my pleasure to invite, and my honor, our religious school learners back up for our closing songs. I will warn you there are two, because when I gave them the option, they couldn't decide which one, and since neither of them are terribly long, I was benevolent and said we could do two closing songs for you this evening. After we do our closing song, please join us in the Ulam for Kiddush and Oneg. After that, those of you who are staying for dinner and a movie can meet Max and Sarah in the library. That's where the Temple Youth Group dinner and a movie is happening, is in the library. We invite you to stand with us, and please, if you feel comfortable doing so without hurting yourself or someone near you, show us your best tree. Are we ready? Outside voices.
It is the tree of life, the whole supposed to it, no it's supposed to. Happy it is the tree of life to those who are blessed, and all of it's supposed to. Happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Really quiet now. It is a tree of life to those who will pass to it. All of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who will pass to it. All of its supporters are happy. Let them hear you now.
Shalom, 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 shalom.
And our final song, Shalom Chaverim, is a song that we sing when we are finished with our songs at school and go out for our day. We have our friendship fingers ready. Shalom Chaverim, Shalom Chaverim,
Shalom, shalom,
להתראות, Shalom, Shalom. Goodbye, my friends. Farewell, my friends. Goodbye, goodbye. Till we meet again, till we meet again. Goodbye, Shalom. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the future of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Thank you, everyone. You were wonderful. Our learners, Shabbat Shalom.